Good evening and a very warm welcome for this evening talk, Freedom and Happiness in Relationships. So most of the time today in the world where we are, we have lots of challenges with relationships. And it's day by day becoming more and more critical and finding it very delicate to handle the relationships. Even for a person to live with one person finds it very hard. In the earlier days, people used to live in a united family, 10 or 20 or many people. So not taking too long to give the introduction, I'd like to introduce Brother Enrique Simo from Spain, who's with us. Most welcome to you, Brother Enrique.
Thank you so much.
And it's my pleasure to introduce you. Brother Enrique Simo is a member of the National Coordination Team of Brahma Kumaris in Spain and coordinator of the headquarters in Madrid. He's a very experienced Raj Yoga meditation teacher and a personal development trainer. So I'm sure he has loads of experiences specifically in this topic to share with us. And over to Brother Enrique. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Harika Ben.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for this invitation, because always there is, for me, my thought is that there is always an opportunity to reflect myself. Every talk that I've invited or every talk that I have the opportunity to give, it's really an opportunity for myself to reflect on the topic and to see how I practice this and what have been my learnings and my discoverings, no, in regarding this topic. So I think it's really a very important topic, freedom and happiness in relationships. I work as a consultant and I work for companies, and I usually do some trainings or programs 1 day or 2 days. And I used to ask them questions so that also to create good relationships and good conversations between them. And one question always I ask them is, remember memorable moments in your life, good moments in your life, where you really were happy or satisfied or at peace with yourself. And, you know, most of the time, almost all the people, they remember moments of family moments or moments with another person or relationships. Almost anyone remembers a moment in their job, doing a project or doing something in their job. Some they remember their job, but it's not what they were doing, but the relationship with someone who was so good that they were enjoying together, creating something together. So relationships are essential in our lives. And my feeling is that we need relationships because they give us happiness, but nowadays relationships are one of the things that create most sorrow in our lives also. And why? And this is what we will explore a little bit in the talk today. For me, freedom is very important value. I need to feel space in my life, space inside myself, space outside myself. It's like a sense of freedom. And in relationships, you know, I'm sure, because all of us, we have a lot of experiences, good and bad experiences in relationship. We know that when we have a bad relationship, a difficult relationship, a toxic relationship, it's like we don't have space, not only outside, but inside. It's like our heart is strength, I don't know exactly the name, no, is small, and our mind is heavy. And when we are in a good relationship, when we have a good friend, when we have good people around us that loves us and we can share this love, then we feel space, we feel peace, and we feel our heart quiet and with this kind of freedom. So let me share some of my learnings about this topic in my more than 30 years of meditation, because as you know, Raja Yoga meditation is not only a technique to be present and to breathe and to be calm and to be peaceful. This is really also something, but it's much more of that. It's the capacity to see yourself, to know yourself, to work on yourself, to understand the mind, to see the dialogues that you have inside your mind, and to see how these dialogues and these thoughts are affecting your behavior, your perception of life, your relationships. So some of the lessons that I've learned during these years, and the first one is, I would say, to observe myself and to learn about myself. And so as a consequence is to know myself. So I think these three things are basic learnings and practice in my life till now: to observe, to learn from myself, and to know myself. And then I realized that the more I know myself, the more I know others. And this is so interesting because many times I explain stories of my life and how I've learned from that. And so many people say to me, oh, it happens the same or very similar. Oh, it's very interesting, your perception. So I realize that explaining your learnings, my experiences helps other people because we are very similar, in fact. We are passing through very similar situations. So when you express how you have passed through that and you give a method or a way to dealing with this situation, it helps many people. So another thing I've realized in myself is that according to my state of being, this is what I'm expressing outside, and this is what I see in others. And this was a discovering, very deep discovering, painful sometimes at the beginning. And now it's very release, because it gives me a lot of release, no? And understanding of myself. What I mean about that if I'm in a good mood, if I'm feeling happy, if I'm full of enthusiasm, if I have a good day, and my mind is really happy and clean and enthusiastic, I see the virtues in others. I see the goodness in others. I have a lot of much more tolerance and capacity to accept others. And I can express very easily the qualities and the appreciation of others. But the days that I don't feel so well, that maybe I'm frustrated for something, or maybe I felt sorrow for something, or I have pain in my heart because of something, then I've observed, and it took me a while. It's not something that you can realize so quickly. It took me a while to understand it, to observe myself, that when I was not feeling good with myself in my inner world, and was some kind of pain or frustration or irritation, I was expressing these same things, this same energy to others. And I was seeing the defects of others, and I was correcting others, and I was criticizing others maybe, and I was trying to change others. And this was part of my old personality before practicing meditation and the spiritual knowledge. But it took me a while also to really understand all this process. So finally, whatever I express to others is nothing else but my inner state. So the same happens with others. And this is a very deep lesson and very allows you to be free. Whatever others express to you is not for you, is not personal to you, is the energy that they have inside themselves. So what means that? That my happiness and my freedom is in my hands, is my choice. When I understand that is my inner energy that creates this and depends on me and doesn't depend on the behavior or the attitude of others, then I can feel really free. I can understand that I'm the creator of my thoughts and the creator of my feelings. This was, again, a big lesson in my life, that my thoughts and feelings were not created by others, which I was thinking before. But there is a but, very big but. You can understand all these things, but then you need to practice and to put attention and to sustain this consciousness and these thoughts in the situations in your life. Because if you if we don't sustain this consciousness and these thoughts, and every day we practice to become this consciousness, then the old beliefs, the old patterns, they hijacked you. And one of these old beliefs that all of us have, and I had to work on it very deeply, if someone does something wrong, you have to feel bad. So it's very interesting, no? If someone breaks something, if someone behaves in the wrong way, if someone says the wrong things in the wrong place, I'm happy, but the belief says I have to become unhappy. I have to become, I have to feel pain and sorrow because other has done this wrong thing. So this was another big lesson, that I don't need to feel bad if others do something bad. So these are the main learnings in my about this topic, because there are many others learning, so many, and this is why I'm still in this spiritual life, because it's a constant learning. It's like a big university of life, and for me, it's so interesting to know myself better and better, and to know how to deal with the relationships. This gives me a lot of satisfaction when I'm able to overcome a situation and to change a pattern of myself and to improve relationship with others. So let's go a little bit more deeper and explain a little bit more all these things. As I said, relationships are so important in our lives. So we need to be in relationship with others. It's not the natural thing to isolate yourself. So also meditation, as I understand, is not to go to a cave, is not to go to the mountains and stay there alone by yourself meditating, or isolate yourself and all the time being there at home or wherever, just meditating. No. For me, meditation is the practice to create the inner strength and the understanding to then go outside and relate with people and share with people and live with people. Because in the interaction is where you learn, you see yourself, you learn from others, and you develop all the qualities necessary for really a happy and fulfilled life. So it's so important. They are there and we need to work on them. We cannot escape from them. So what have I observed in all these years, and even before all this spiritual life? I've observed that some people are able to remain stable and happy in difficult circumstances and situations, and also with difficult relationships. And on the contrary, other people in the best circumstances, with the best things, with a wonderful family, with a wonderful job. I remember one woman, an executive, saying to me, I have a wonderful husband. I have beautiful kids. I have a wonderful house. My health, it's wonderful, and all my family are okay. I live in a wonderful place and I have a wonderful work, and I get a lot of money, but I'm not happy. I have a lot of stress and tension and I feel frustrated. So this proves that are not circumstances or other people who are creating your experience. You are creating your experience in everything that happens in your life. So where do we create the experience of freedom and happiness? Where do we create this experience? Where are we creating all the time this experience in our life? Here, in our minds. And especially, and you can observe yourself and you will realize that it is true, and especially not only thoughts, but the dialogues, no, the inner talk that we have with ourselves, but also with others. Sometimes we externally, we try to be polite, and as they say, politically correct. But internally, we don't have this relationship with this person. Sometimes happen with our children, sometimes happens with our spouse, sometimes happen with our colleagues at work or with our boss. And externally, we're polite, but internally, we're criticizing, or we are talking in a different way, or we are blaming. So the experience, the real experience of how do you feel internally depends on what is the dialogue that you have in your mind about these relationships. So let me do a short exercise, just a reflective exercise, and take a moment, wherever you are and as you are, just take a deep breath, breathe deeply. You can close your eyes if you prefer for this exercise, and just be there, present for a moment. Yes, very good. And bring your attention within and observe your life in general, the relationship that you have in your life, close relationships, maybe also work relationships, friends, general. And think about one normal day. What is the reality I'm usually creating in my mind in connection with my relationships? What is? And I'm sure that there are different talks in your mind. Try to observe them. And maybe with some, you have some kind of expectations that they need to change something. Yes? Or you have some desires. You want something from them. Or maybe you are demanding and you are demanding a lot of them. Or maybe you're trying to control them and try to make them different as they are, try to change them. Just observe. And maybe there are other relationships where you can express love, when you are more caring, when you have more understanding, and maybe you have complete acceptance, and also maybe you have compassion. Just observe for a moment. It's just an exercise to realize, to observe. And you can breathe deeply and come back. Just was a visualization, short visualization. When I was observing myself also in this exercise, I realized that I had different talks with different people. But my personal experience, and I want to share one personal experience, was that it doesn't work when you expect something from others, or when you want to try to change others, or when you want others to be different as they are. So I was working at one point with a person that was really different than me, completely. I'm very fast working, fast thinking also, getting quick solutions and wanting things to be done in a more quick way and very precise sometimes. And I have a lot of clarity, it's true, in solving things. So this person was completely different, very slow, slow in talking, slow in explaining something, perceiving things in a very different and sometimes very abstract way, difficult to put into practice things. So I was sometimes getting a little bit nervous inside. And I was having expectations about him, thinking that he has to change, expecting that that person should behave in a different way, saying, even giving feedback to how he needs to be, but was not feedback, empowering feedback. In fact, was with a little bit of, I would say, critical attitude. So I realized with the time that I was not empowering this person, but in fact, I was doing the contrary. I was disempowering this person. I was saying how he should be behaving, doing. And when I was reflecting, I realized that in fact, what I was saying to him, not in words, but in the attitude, was, you are wrong and I'm right. So you have to do things as I'm doing because I'm right and you are wrong. So what happened? Imagine what happened. Tension, conflict. So we discuss in some meetings, and sometimes we have finished the meeting with a lot of tension and not bad words, but I would say strong energy, emotional energy. And then it was difficult to relate each other. So then one day in meditation, I realized that I had to change. I cannot continue trying to change him because he has a different perception of life. He had different beliefs. He had different experience of the past in his education, family. So I really went deep inside myself and realized that I was making the mistake of trying to change this person and make this person be like me. And then I realized because he told me this, you want to do things as you want, and you don't allow me to do things as I am. I'm not feeling free. So this gave me a signal what I'm doing. Then I went deeply, I meditate and observe myself, and I was seeing how I was sometimes projecting also my frustration or whatever in him. As I said before, my feelings were projecting on others. So then I said, okay, let's me change completely. And I train my mind to a new dialogue. As I said before, the importance of the dialogue. So I start to talk to myself and to talk to him in a different way. And I say something like that. No? I accept you completely as you are. You are free. I free yourself from my mind. You can do whatever you want in the way you want. I don't expect anything from you. Anything you do is well done as you want to do it. It's your responsibility. It's your way. It's your way of understanding life. It's your way of acting. It's based on your past, your values, your life. I accept you completely as you are, and I free you from my mind. You are free. You are free. Do whatever you want. Speak in the way you want. Express in the way you want. So I, with determination, I was saying all these things to myself and to him in my mind, not externally. Eh? And in the next meetings, in the next interactions that were not so often, but some from time to time, before the meeting, before the interaction, I repeat in my mind all these things. I'm free. I free you. I accept you completely. You can do whatever you do is fine. In the way you talk or you express or you behave, it's fine. It's your way, nothing to do with me. I will be responsible of my way, and I want to send you my good wishes. And then also I was able to be compassionate with him and say, may you be peaceful, may you be happy, may you, this was very nice thought, may you raise your awareness and discover whatever you need to discover about yourself. May you be free from your pain, because I realized then that he had also pain in his heart. And sometimes he was expressing this to me. And I was reacting at the beginning, but then I realized, no, this is about him. It's not about me. So he has things to change. This is true. This is clear. But he will not change by me telling him. I realized that because of my personal experience, that we only change if there is love, if there is caring, if there is compassion. So it took me a while to practice all these things because, your ego, sometimes says, oh, but I'm right. He's doing something wrong. No, 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 this is not the way. So compassion, may you be happy. May you be free from sorrow. May you raise your awareness and your consciousness. And what happened? That then relationship was improving, interaction was improving. We have not become the best friends, no, but doesn't matter. We don't need to become that. But I can tell you that I was feeling a space inside myself, freedom. My mind was free from this attitude of expectations and trying to control, trying to do the right thing and try to change them. So I was really happy because I was calm inside myself, stable again, with more clarity in my mind. And the result was really good. Things were improving. And he was also realizing things. And well, all this is work on process because you never finish all this kind of work because always there is something more to improve. But when you realize that you have your uh, personal responsibility and has nothing to do with the other, and you decide to change yourself, you help the other person also to change. And this is the real way, with good wishes, with compassion, with love, with complete, not acceptance, but complete acceptance. And very important, being you, being me in this case, the example, the sample that I want him to become. And if he wants, he will do the same. He will be inspired. And if he not, he will not do it. I cannot do anything more. So I've practiced this in also different situations and really works. Takes a little bit of courage for yourself and determination because the old patterns are there and they come out. But if you love your real freedom and if you want to be really happy, there is a need to be working on yourself. And I call this freedom from emotional dependence. And when you are freedom from this emotional interaction with others and this dependence, because we are creating dependency, even if we don't want, then we can choose to feel what we want to feel, in this case, happiness, which is for me an inner satisfaction, inner stability, inner sense of well-being. So I can choose to be like this when I'm free from you and from all the people around me. And I have space inside myself. And I have freedom in my mind. And I did the same with my daughter. I have a daughter and she has 2 children. So I'm a grandfather. And I'm doing the same with my grandchildren. And with my daughter, this was many years ago. I understand this when I started to practice this spiritual knowledge. And I understood that saying to her things were not the method to help her. So then I practiced just to be appreciative and give her always good feelings, good wishes, and appreciating the good things that she has and expressing my love. And it's very interesting how she was changing, improving, understanding things without saying to her, because she was or inspired by me or copying me in some aspects, not others. But I realized that our relationship improved much more when I was only focusing on good feelings and good energy to her. Because I realized one thing, it's very simple, but it's very deep sometimes. It's that when we say something to our children and we say, you don't need to behave, you don't have, sorry, I don't want you to behave in this way. I want you to behave in a different way because this is not good. This is not right. This is wrong. We have the illusion in our mind that by telling them how to do things or what to do, they will do it. So it's very innocent, this thought, because if the method would be just telling someone to do the right thing, we will be doing everything perfect because someone will telling us, Enrique, it's better if you don't get upset and you remain peaceful and happy. Wonderful. They say to me, and it happened. Not true. This is just an illusion. We think that by telling things to other people, they will become that. It's not true. We know that it takes time, energy, determination to change behaviors, to change patterns, to change beliefs. So we live in this illusion that by telling others again and again, they will do it. And the result is the contrary. They reject us. They react. And you have this experience. So I decided just to give good wishes, just to appreciate her. And I do the same with my grandchildren. And I see that they are doing what they have to do. They are passing through the process that they have to pass. But we keep a very good relationship. And when there is a good relationship, there is the possibility of influence. When there is reaction, there is not the possibility of influence. There is the rejection. So I learn also, and I realize that the main thing is to keep a close relationship and a good relationship, because in this way, I can at least influence with my behavior, with my attitude, with my way of doing things, just by example, not by telling them. Because, you know, in teaching, they have observed that the most quicker way to learn something is by sample, is by seeing someone doing and copying. So in this way, yes, this is the right method, not to tell others, but to become, and others seeing you, they copy you if they are inspired. If not, they will not copy. But at least be you, be yourself, the change that you want to see in others. And this is effective. So what to do? Because as I said before, this is not only to understand all these things, but we need to put attention to them, we need to practice, and we need to sustain this consciousness for a long period of time to see the results. A little bit of water. So what to do? I would say the first thing is to really convince yourself that you need to accept completely the other person. I call it radical acceptance. No excuses, doesn't matter, no excuses. I need to accept, and I need to do this inner work, because there will be resistance, there will be inner talk saying that this is not the right thing, you have to say something. It will be things inside. So you need to work that. And for that, you need meditation, and you need spiritual knowledge, and you need reflection, and you need to write. So you need to do the inner work. It doesn't work in another way. And also with this radical acceptance, you need compassion. And compassion is create these feelings of wishing the other the best. May you be free from sorrow. May you be free from your inner pain. May you be free from your inner prison. May you be at peace. May you awaken your consciousness. May you be happy. May you be free from me, from my own thoughts. May you be the best person you can be. So this is feelings of compassion. But then how to create this internal dialogue and sustain it and keep it and become natural? You need to repeat that. You know that habits are created by repeating thoughts. So the practice is every morning. In the morning, build this new dialogue, create this new dialogue, create powerful thoughts. Remember, I am the creator of my thoughts. I'm the creator of my feelings. I'm the creator of my story. And also repeat it at night before going to sleep, because you know, the unconscious mind is very open at night and in the morning, very early in the morning. And so if you put these thoughts in your mind and you bring these thoughts inside yourself, your unconscious mind takes these thoughts and they become more quicker a reality. And again, I invite you to practice these three things that I have told you before. Observe yourself, learn about yourself, know yourself, and maybe you can add change yourself. So for me, meditation is about this, observing, learning, knowing, changing. It's not only a technique to be relaxed and to breathe and to just be quiet. Many people think that meditation is like this. For me, this is a protocol. The initial protocol is important, yes, and I practice also. Just put my body in the right position, just connect with my breathing. This helps me to be present, to disconnect with the outside world. But then for me, the work is much more deeper, and you need to go inside. You need to observe yourself with courage, and you need to learn what is happening inside yourself. And then you need to change. See yourself in a different way. Project yourself as you want to become or you want to be. And this is an art, to be detached, no? To be detached from yourself, to be detached from your emotional reactions, to be detached from your old dialogues, and to learn and create new ones. I've developed this ability to observe, and many times I've observed in myself not two dialogues, sometimes are more, but two dialogues: the weak one, not the old one, saying something to me, Enrique, you know, you cannot do this, you are like this, and the new one, yes, I want this, I want to change, I want to do differently. So who wins? The one you put attention to. So you have to not put attention to this and say, okay, you are here again. Okay, keep talking. I will not put attention to you, and put attention to the one that you want to create as a new thing. Remember, where attention goes, your energy flows. And where your energy flows, there, life grows. So wherever you put your attention, you are giving energy to that. So now don't give attention to the old things. Give attention to the new dialogue, to your new thoughts, to your new behaviors, to the new vision of yourself. And one of the things that has helped me a lot in meditation, especially in Raja Yoga meditation, is when I've learned to see myself as something different than this image, that this body, this character that I'm representing a role in life, and to see myself as a conscious being, no? We call it as a soul here in the center of the forehead, as the one who gives energy to the body, the one who really expresses through the body. And this has given me the experience of being detached of the body, detached of my character, detached of my story, and helped me to be the observer. But what that was not enough, because after seeing me like this, I was starting to see others in this way. I did it with my daughter and with some people close to me at the beginning, and the result was amazing. Not saying to her, you are a soul, you are light. No, no, no. Just thinking inside myself, and making the effort not to see the image, not to see the role that she's representing, but see inside the soul, the energy that is giving life to the story, to the character, to everything, and relate to this energy, to this soul. It's like seeing through the things that are visible and seeing the invisible. Hmm? And our relationship changed completely. And now we have a beautiful relationship, completely detached. We are, and I say we, both, we are not depending emotionally. We can talk very openly, very friendly, very clearly, and at the same time, we are very detached. We can be together, enjoy our presence and our company. And at the same time, we can be not together for a long period of time and not depending and not need one to each other, and sustain and keep this relationship very stable without advice and what you need to do, what you don't need to do, just talking, sharing, expressing ideas, of course, helping each other, but at the same time, allowing each other to be themselves. She allows me to be myself, and I allow her to be herself. And I really appreciate this relationship, because I feel completely free from this relationship, and she feels completely free. She doesn't need to do something to please me. She doesn't need to do something to make me happy. No, we don't need this. We are happy to be together. We are happy to have a good conversation. We are happy to know each other. We are happy to know that we are close each other. And at the same, we are happy to live each one doing their own life. So really, I can say that it's a very deep practice, but has very deep and good results. And finally, um, there is another experience through meditation that I have developed and has changed dramatically in my life, and especially in relationships. And it's when you learn the art to go more deep inside yourself, and you are able to go into silence, you quiet your mind, and you create this energy, this experience of being really a being of light, a soul. So you realize that you are beyond this physical dimension, and then you start to realize that there is another higher consciousness. There is another being which is not from this material world. And in silence, in meditation, you can feel the vibrations. You can feel the energy of this soul, this being. You can feel peace and love, and you can absorb this energy. And then you start to create a relationship because you feel that this is a real being that exists, but you need to create the same kind of vibration to catch this energy. And then what happened? What is that you feel accompanied, you feel protected, you feel that there is someone else which is in a different real realm of energy, but is very real also. And you can connect with this being, and you can bring the energy of this being into your life and share this energy of love, compassion, and peace with other people. And it's so interesting because when you are able to bring this energy into yourself, you don't need this energy from other people, because this energy is much more recharged and powerful. And then you can share. And because you don't need, you become a donor. You become a giver because you know from where to take, and then you know how to share with others. And this changed dramatically then relationships, because then you don't expect anything from anyone. You just want to give, you want to share, you want to you want others to experience the same experience that you are experiencing. And well, this is not something that all the time happens like this. As you can imagine, sometimes you forget, sometimes there are influences, sometimes there are things that distracted you and you disconnect, and then you forget this internal positive dialogue, and sometimes the old things take the opportunity to come back, and something happen and you react, or you, okay, can happen, no problem. Just be patient with yourself, be compassionate with yourself, be loving with yourself, learn from the situation, and continue to move forward. So these are some of my experiences about this topic, some of the methods that I use. And now I think would be a good moment if you want to ask some questions or share any of your ideas.
Sorry. It's very nice to hear you, Brother Enrique. Each and every line that you shared is very valuable and uplifting. But how do, see, I'm sure people will come up with their questions if they have any in the chat. But how do we, when there is a difficult relationship, you mentioned very profound statements and very simple but very powerful, like, I accept as you are. Okay. But sometimes there is that acceptance externally.
I cannot hear you. The sound has gone.
Can you hear me now?
Now again, yes.
Yeah. Sometimes there is acceptance. Well, I accept them as they are, but still there is that hesitation. Okay. How do you do that inner work? You shared few lines about, okay, deep from your heart, you accept as you are, may you be free, happy. Can you just explore a bit more of how do you do that inner work?
Yes. For me, because this is very personal, but for me, freedom has been a very important value. So my inner reflection is go deep inside myself and realize that if I'm connected with this person and I'm not accepting this person as it is, I'm not free. I'm like in a prison. So I need to go deep and realize how I'm how I'm caught up, no, in this internal prison, and then creating this willingness to really experience again freedom and space and this happiness. So I think it's not only to accept the other person as it is, but to realize that you want to be free, and you need determination for that. Determination. I want to be free. So no more excuses, no more justifications about how this person behaves. I want to be free. So for being free myself, I have to free this person from my life. So I need to accept as it is. And I did it with several persons, and it worked. But it worked because my attention was focusing on myself, not on accepting the other as it is and the behavior. No, I have to be free. I want to be free. So I accept you. Means I free you. Do what you want because I want to be free. So the focus is always in yourself. And then it's easy to accept others. But when you forget your aim and your purpose, then you focus on others, and then it's very difficult.
But it's very natural to focus on others than the self.
Exactly,
I think.
exactly.
Yeah. And do you think it really works when you really have a difficult relationship with someone, okay, who you're always like, you're living with them, but you're always like, you're not, with some people, you're very far, but there is like a sweet connection. You connect very naturally and easily. With some people, you live with them, but you find it very hard even to have that connection and relationship. And either that person doesn't understand or you don't understand. Okay, but I think, as you mentioned, it's definitely a hard, maybe not a hard work, but definitely some inner work to be done. Okay,
Yes.
maybe if you can, there is one question that has come up. How do you go on about a relationship for 15 years plus with your partner if they don't accept you have changed and don't understand your beliefs?
This is a very good question. And it's not so easy because there are many factors here. When we change, I change, you change. When we change, we provoke in the other person, in this in case with a close relationship, to change because they get used to how you were, and if you change, you are not the same one. So if you are not the same one, I cannot relate with the old one because you are new, and people don't like changes. So in general, sometimes not. Sometimes this creates a change in the other person and both changes. And this is wonderful then. But many times, this was my experience also. Many times the other person stays in the past and wants you to become like before. But you feel that you cannot go to the past because you have experienced something new. So then it requires from your side, because the other person is not working on themselves, so he's not doing the work. So on your side, it requires a lot of patience, a lot of love, and a lot of acceptance, and a lot of tolerance. So they are very good qualities, also very spiritual qualities to develop, and you have the perfect teacher to teach you. But at the same time, it arises a moment in time, after trying many things, that if it doesn't work and the person wants to stay in the past and you want to continue to move forward, then you have to have a conversation and see what are we doing together, no? So you can inspire with love, with caring, with attention, with tolerance. And at the same time, sometimes it's very important to have conversation and see, well, I'm changing. I love this life or this change or whatever, and how we can work that. and see if the person wants or not. And life is all the time movement. So sometimes we have to move, we have to change something and see what is the next scene. But I would say at the beginning, we need to develop patience, tolerance, acceptance, and compassion, and see if this works. Mm-hmm.
That's really nice. Very good. Another question that came up, where does responsibility comes when others depend on me? I look at my freedom.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a really good question also, especially with children, no? And there is a very subtle balance of how to be responsible and at the same time create your space and at the same time to care about them, no? So I think we have, when they are little children, we have a lot of responsibility and we have to care and we have to take decisions, what they eat, what they school they go, whatever, no, because it's important and they don't have this capacity. But when they are growing up, and I mean 16, 17, 18 already, because they are becoming with their own ideas, my experience was that telling them what to do is not working. So I decided to just have conversation with her. She passed through a very difficult period when she was 18. And so my decision was not to say anything, just to be a support of her. So my responsibility is giving strength to her. So we were sitting together many days after the day and see how do you feel? How was the day? What do you need? What have you done? Just be there and asking questions. And she was saying to me, I was saying another day, no, let's talk a little bit. You want to express me your feelings? I say, well, it's what I'm doing, just asking you questions, expressing how I feel, but not saying to you anything. But after 1 year of these kind of conversations, she made a big change. She took decisions. I was saying to her, I don't take decisions from you. I will not tell you what you have to do, what you have to study, what do you want to do in your life. I will support you all the time. I will be there as your backbone, support you. And I did something physically. I embrace her, but not in front. I embrace him from the back. So she was looking in front and I embrace it in the back and I say, I will be with you, but you have to take your decisions. So she started to cry and she said to me, oh, I want to be again a little child because it's so difficult to take decisions. But I say, well, I understand, don't worry, but I'm supporting you, but you will take the good decisions. And she took decisions, very important decisions, to study in a different place where she was living, to work, to start to work. And from that moment onwards, she has become a very entrepreneur, a lot of success, straight away with a lot of energy. So I think our responsibility is to empower our children, to empower the people who are around us. And this empowerment doesn't come by advice and expectations, just by conversations, company, expressing what are you doing and being a little bit of an example, not in everything because we make mistakes also, of course, but at least in our attitude, internal attitude of love, caring, and compassion.
Thank you for sharing your wonderful experience. And I like what you shared, like you're not just saying or you do this or don't do this, but just be, you're not telling them, but you just be an inspiration while you're doing. That's amazing. Okay, as the clock is ticking off, so maybe it's time for us to share a bit of meditation. You can share some thoughts and lead us to meditation.
Wonderful, thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
So just find a comfortable position. Relax a little bit your shoulders, your jaw, your neck, and prepare yourself for an inner journey. Observe your breathing. Allow your attention to rest on your breathing. And with every breath, allow yourself to go a little bit more deep inside yourself. With every breath, allow yourself to connect with the present moment. Nothing to do, nothing to solve, nothing to organize. Just be present with yourself. Just be. And now bring your attention to the center of your forehead and visualize or just feel that there is a beautiful energy in the center of your forehead. A living energy, the energy of your consciousness. Bring all your attention to this point, a little point of light, a little point of awareness, and detach yourself from your body, from the role you represent, from your story, and just for one moment, become this tiny little point of light, free from everything, free from your story, your relationships, your body, your image, and feel that you are just a being of energy, a being of light, completely free. Completely at peace with yourself, full of love and compassion. I am light. I am love. I am peace. I am free. And from this state of mind, see all these relationships that you have in your life in the same way. See them as beings of light, souls, conscious beings, free from their stories and their roles. And see them also as beautiful, tiny lights, beings of light, independent, free, at peace, and full of love. Visualize them as being of light. Allow them to be free also. And allow yourself to be free. You are light. They are light. And you are sharing the light. And remain there for a moment, feeling your light and sharing your light with all these relationships. And now you can breathe deeply and come back, but keep in your heart this experience and share it with your loved ones. Om Shanti.
Thank you very much, Brother Enrique. It's really wonderful, a practical way of looking at making our relationships happy and freedom. Okay, and there are a few phrases that you often mentioned is one is to observe myself, know myself, learn from myself, and you added one more thing is to change yourself. I think the whole game is all about this aspect in relationship is about changing yourself and knowing yourself. When you focus on yourself, then you're not focusing on others. Then you're trying to pay more attention, patience, and being compassionate. And freedom is natural. So one more thing is be patient with yourself. That is amazing. So I like this line when wherever your attention goes, your energy flows, and where your energy flows, life grows. So that is very powerful. So this is an important line for us to remember, where is my energy going? Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure to have you this evening. I'm sure everyone has taken a lot of benefit, and there are already so many thank yous, and it's very beautiful, and everybody enjoyed this. Gracias. Okay.
Gracias.
Thank
You so
you.
much.
Thank you. And next week, Friday evening, same time, we will see again, continuing on with this topic from freedom from relationships. We are going to ending emotional baggage. So looking forward to see you all. And again, the most popular speaker, Sister Jenna. So looking forward to see you all back again next Friday, same time. Thank you. Good night.